exactly do things like imagery fit into evidence-based studio practices? Because we know that imagery isn't exactly science the way, like anatomy and physiology is. And nor is it consistent across the board from person to person. But you also know it works. And why should we abandon something that is working for our students? We shouldn't. But if you've been feeling that conflict of, is this evidence-based and science-informed? I've got two big ways that imagery can fit into the evidence-based science-informed framework. One, locus of attention. Research shows that when we have an external locus of attention, as in we're focusing on something outside the body, it will enhance motor performance and learning comparatively to when you're focusing on the micro movements of all of the muscles inside the body. So if your student says this efficient head voice sound feels like they're singing on a cloud, they're going to have much more success continuing to think about singing on a cloud than if you were to go in there and say, okay, now I need you to focus on getting the vocal folds a little farther apart from each other so that we can send a little bit more airflow through this sound and make it a little more head dominant. That's probably not going to work out very well for you or your student. 2, student-led learning. Research has shown again and again that when students have autonomy in their learning process, it's going to be way more advantageous to that motor learning than if they're following a really strict path that is designed for them by someone else. So when you get through an exercise and ask, what was that like for you? And they start talking in terms of imagery as opposed to science-informed stuff, and you have this impulse to correct them and make sure that they are learning how to do voice your way, that sciencey way, they're losing a certain percentage of access to their autonomous way of experiencing learning and voice production, which is going to thwart their results. While imagery might not be that hard science thing that you want it to be, it can absolutely fit within the framework of science-informed principles. What's your take on imagery? Do you feel something different? What are the kinds of results that happen in your studio based on this kind of chat we're having today? Let me know in the comments. Happy teaching!